Welcome back. The Central Bank of Nigeria recently licensed 28 microfinance institutions with a view to further integrate biometric verification number schemes into the core banking solution of such microlenders. While this development appears to be paying off with private equity investments, the chief executive of Baobab Microfinance Bank, Mr. Kazim Rashid, tells Channel's business producer Temple Ashaju what has changed.
Today, every account you have with your BVN is connected. So it's possible for me to look at an account and see everywhere you have an account in Nigeria. And to that extent, it means that I can decide to look at the kind of customer you are, look at your data. Are you a debtor or a very good customer? Are you credit worthy? Do you honor your obligation as at when due? Are you paying your bills? Okay, do you have issues with your account? All those can be revealed, just by prompting through the BVN number. So I think it's made a great contribution to securing transactions within the banking system.
So this is like a dawn of Nigeria's exit from recession, and at the twilight of it, you are carrying out this form of integrations, financing, technology, and all that. And this is also the kind of time that private equity investors are coming into the Nigerian market. How much of this is related to your transition?
Okay, we have a lot of private equity companies knocking at our door. Don't forget, we have very strong shareholders, the likes of IFC, Goodwell, Propaco. These are major names all over the world. And so we have the credibility, and so you see a lot of private equity coming. But much more for Baobab is the fact that today you see Baobab in 9 African countries. Among these countries, there is none that is close in terms of size of the population and the economy, like Nigeria. Most of them, when you look at the number of persons, they are less. I'm talking about the population. If you look at the size of the economy, they are less. But I can tell you that over the years, we are not close to what we have as Baobab in other countries. So something is wrong. So particularly talking about Baobab, we feel that, look, this is a great opportunity, great country with great potentials, what has been happening, in this space. And so deliberately, that's why we move from the state license to the national license. And, do we have a lot of this private equity coming? So many of them. I have like about 8 on the pipeline. That's why we are looking at all the things that we are doing.
And what hurdles would you want to be removed, whether regulatory or operational?
Well, okay, as a bank, you always look for, you are more or less like an Oliver Twist. Yeah, we have some restrictions, maybe combination of, regulatorily, you have to do a max of SME to micro loan. That's one area that I would love the central bank to look at. For banks that are very good at SME, they can be allowed to play more in that space. For banks that are very good at micro, they can be allowed to play more in that space. Luckily enough, we have about 1,008 microfinance banks. So people can choose where they want to belong. So in terms of regulation, this is one area that I think, the central bank will look at against, the next regulatory and supervisory framework that is going to be developed such that people can have the opportunity to explore, and do their best. I understand the concern. The commercial bank are serving certain level of the market, and the central bank wants the lower level to be serviced. Even with that, they can't be serviced.
Nigeria is expanding over $8 billion on standard gauge railway lines across the country to bridge transportation gaps in Africa's largest economy. Giving updates on the project, the Director General of Nigeria Railways Corporation, Mr. Fidet Okeria, narrates how the funding is revamping one of the projects abandoned about 30 years ago.
The contract was to lay a track from Lagos to Kano with a branch line from Kaduna to Abuja and then from Minna to Abuja. And they have done the Kaduna to Abuja axis. And we're right now doing the Lagos-Ibadan. And not so recently, the Ibadan-Kaduna was also approved because the Kaduna Kano line has been approved. So, and that contract was about $8.3 billion, and double line with the stations. And when this government came, they said they must get to the ports instead of just stopping at where we call Ebutimeta Junction. That is Alagomeji. And it's been taken to the port. Right now, we just returned from the port to assess the right-of-way. I think the money is commensurate with the work they are doing, because there is, as far as reconstruction is concerned, there is a world standard that you know what you needed in 1 kilometer, and the prices they are cost by per kilometer, and the infrastructure you have in place. And the other one is that you remember for about 20-something years now, about 30-something, 31, 32 years, there have been a standard gauge under construction, which is the Takbe, the Wari, that is Takbe Ajakuta Wari. And the government is so serious about it that we are thinking of commencing commercial operation in July on that route. And the effort to make sure that it's operationable is in progress. Maintenance is going on the track, and station buildings construction is also going on the track. And the coaches that will be utilized for operation is already stationed at Agbo. So which means the government is serious about operating that track, because they need to break the yoke, and it will be a big relief that people thought that that track will never come into operations. So as we are speaking, I think July, August, people will start enjoying the service of a standard gauge railway system. And the interest in this is that with a good railway system, a lot of employment will be generated. Even right now, you may say, what is the level of people that are being employed? But a lot of people are being engaged, because if you go between here and Ibadan, where construction is ongoing right now, you see a lot of Nigerians that are working. And when you enter the office too, you see Nigerians doing some engineering work, procurement work, and all those things. And that is the direct people that are employed. But the indirect one, that you see people engaged that are supplying one thing or the other, that is how it's spread. And as we know, without a good rail system in the country, the commercial activity cannot meet up, because the cost of moving goods and services will be up there. Sometimes the cost of moving the product is higher than the product itself.
And finally, South African Airways Chief Executive Officer Vuyani Jarana has rejected a report that the state-owned carrier plans to fire at least 1,000 workers as it seeks to cut costs and return to profitability. South Africa's Auditor General said earlier this month that SAA's net loss widened more than threefold to 5.6 billion rand in the 2017 financial year, and the company may not be able to operate as a going concern. And that's it on the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago.